It's crazy. We had a customer that just came in for 4 phones, wanted to sell us 4 individual phones, a 13, a 12, XS Max, and a S23. I was like, okay, sure, bring them in. And then it turns out they were all locked. They all had accounts, had to go through all that. Thought I'd finished it, and they didn't want to sell. Cool, bye-bye, start the podcast. Bing, came back, let's sell it. I'll accept your price. Not going up to 5. Okay, turns out my drawer doesn't have enough cash. I bought a pair of Oculuses this morning at like 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. and came in and used the cash. I don't keep a lot of cash on hand here because I don't trust this town with the crackheads, because apparently if you keep a lot of cash on hand, it's doomed for, problems. But I deposit everything or I spend it at the casino. But other than that, it was fantastic because while doing that, then we had, 3 other people come in for sales.
Yeah, you guys were hustling and bustling.
Yeah, it's usually like that on a busier store. But then that guy wanted to buy a screen from us. A screen I bought for I don't know how your markups work, but in this industry, I usually go whatever the cost of the part is plus $79. That's my base minimum labor on anything I do. I make $80 for fixing your problem. Mm-hmm. If I don't, it's like a cleaning for $25. So how do you gauge what your time is worth?
Over $35.
How long? What are you doing?
So the way I have my prices set up, mm-hmm. right? So basically just a setup for the administration set, the bag of saline, the needle, and the startup kit is $15 to $20. So I charge another.
That's your cost.
That's a cost for just that. Mm-hmm. I add in another one of those, so now it's $40. That way I can get that bag back and another one in case some prices change on things.
I always call it the Start Market Flex.
Start Market Flex?
Yeah, because say I buy an iPhone 8 screen today for $10. Tomorrow it could be $12 or it could be $8. And I call it the flex. There's a range of price. It can go up or down. So the reason I don't stock Samsung parts, a lot of people are like, you go to them. I'll have the top 3, the S22 Ultra, S23 Ultra, and a couple of the fold parts. I'll have all the charge ports and all the batteries, but the screens next day order. If anything's over $200 anyway, it makes sense to pay $17 more and get it next day. Then everyone else gets it, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. But man, I think I pay... At my store in California, Love to Fix Carmichael, we paid almost $6,000 last year in overnight fees. Every day, overnighted. That's 5 days a week, mostly 6 days, because Saturday overnight are $30. Every single day, any part we needed. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But I was like, yeah, it's going to balance out. It'll balance out $6,000. Gone. We couldn't have done Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Been $3,000,
Right.
Daddy need a new pair of shoes, something. But damn, that whole business out there was just ready for an implosion.
God, $6,000. Then I go no less than $50 per commission on my IVs for not just me, but if I had an employee mm-hmm. work under me, they would get no less than $50 per IV from.
Most of the IVs take, 15, 20 minutes to suck down?
No, I want to say 30 minutes is the fastest I've gotten them in. Okay. I have half bags now that are 15 to 30 minutes.
Are they full price or half price?
They're less than a full bag.
So they're 70-30?
Yeah.
Hey, that's good marketing. Make it as close to... But also for the timing, people like me, I was like, oh yeah, this one's 15 minutes, this one's 45 minutes. You see that? That's how I used to be when I moved here. Yeah. Everything was that. It was go from one store to another, to this, to that, every day, constant.
That's what the patient I had before I came here, they called me because I went to the bank to go do some deposits. And they were like, hey, I was wanting to get an IV today. And it's like, oh yeah, 100%. What would you like? And they're like, well, something with vitamin C, glutathione, magnesium. I was like, okay, cool. And they came into the office.
Customers ask for that? They know all that stuff that you're putting in there?
That one was a return customer.
So they got all the info. Because I feel like an idiot when I'm like, yeah, just the good stuff.
Right.
I put all the bad stuff in, you put the good stuff in. That's it.
Yeah, no, that one was a return customer and a return patient. I have lots of conversations with my coworkers, and I always get confused whenever I go from, I call their clients patients.
Yours are customers.
There's your customers. Mine are patients. And then sometimes it goes.
You flip it.
Yeah, I flip it. I always flip it back and forth when I mean to say the other for them and the other for me. But mine are patients. At least that's how I consider mine patients, because they're receiving a medical procedure from a medical professional that's there to help them feel better.
Super weird, because the idea of the markup came to a guy who wanted to buy a 14 plus in-cell screen. I told him, I was like, yeah, my cost on it's like $115. When I looked at what I bought it for 6 months ago, $115, $120, and they're like $83 now. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll mark it up $15 from what I bought it for, so I'll still make money, even though I've already made my money on that screen at time over. But I'm like, yeah, I'll charge you $139 for it. If he would have just went with the repair, it's $170, $169.99. So for $30 more, you could have got the warranty, all of it. And then before I got to say anything, I was like, yeah, cash or card, pulls out a card, Amex, we don't accept Amex. It says no Amex on there. And he still taps it. I'm like, oh, the problem is if he fucks that up, he's just going to charge it back. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Amex guys like that are just dicks. You dealt with chargebacks?
Mm-mm.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Especially with the moving around town people.
Yeah.
I expected chargebacks to be rampant here because nobody really does. Business isn't like reoccurring as much here because it's an in and out town on Williams. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, you get your reoccurring like truckers that come by when they're in town. I've seen those guys, but most of the time it's like guys you've never seen. They're like, yeah, I'm in town for a week. Need a new phone. Oh, I'm in town for a week. Got to do this. Hey, I dropped this in the hole that we're digging. We're in town for a couple of days. Need it done now. Yes, sir. Right now, sir. Those people you could. When I was younger, I would make fake prices. Like just throw out a absolute bullshit. You wouldn't pay this price for those types of people. They were like, oh, I'm only in town for a day. Just to see if they said yes. And then there's always an alternative mode. You know, like, all right, I could charge you $200 mm-hmm. for a $10 thing.
And they would pay you outrageous?
They would pay me outrageous. They hold your moral horses. No, go ahead. Let me have it. It was stupid. There's no... It's one of those things. I was a very shitty person when I started doing business in 2013, 2012. I was desperate. But man, anyone who would pay the price paid it. Mm-hmm. So it was one of those things. And sure, there was people who were like, I don't care what it takes. I'll pay whatever. And still to this day, I get calls from people who are doing repairs, like the guy who's in my Carmichael store right now. Got a call about a Note 10 screen he was doing. Customer was like, I'll pay you up to $500 to do it today on a day he was about to close, like 6 p.m. on a Saturday. He was like, yeah, I'll do it. So the lady came in, paid him the $500, bought a screen protector case, all this stuff. He spent maybe 15 minutes working on it, but wanted it to seem like it was longer and harder because she was spending so much. So he was like, all right, I'm going to draw this out a bit. I'm like, all right, I get it. You know, go over it a couple of times, make sure everything's spick and span, do the best you can for this new premier customer you got. But she paid near $600 for a $200 repair. Like, talk about paying triple, but it happens. And I felt like an asshole for the longest time when I got one guy to pay for an S3 glass-only replacement. He'd broken his girlfriend's phone. And they got into a fight or something. And this is back when I was working out of my apartment. And so he was like, I don't care what it costs. I need it done tonight. It's 10:30 at night. He gets to my house at 11. Hey, man, I told you not to knock. I got neighbors. It's an apartment. Be quiet. It's like, nah, man, this I'm paying for this. This is your business. I'm like, no. You're asking me for a favor. There's business and like, hey, can I please get this done at this time at your personal residence? Boom. So he sits down, hands me the phone. So I let people watch my TV, you know. I had 2 recliners, some chairs, and it was all set up like a lobby in my apartment. And sure as shit, this man turns on Lethal fucking Weapon. And back then it was the first like Go boxes, those 10,000 channels, free streaming, all the prawn you want, you know, everything in a box that you could plug in before Fire Sticks hacking was the thing. And this man turns on Lethal Weapon, clicks just 100% on the volume.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I don't feel bad one bit for charging this guy what I'm charging him. But the pompous attitude for no reason about like, hey man, can you keep it down? You know, we got neighbors downstairs, upstairs, all the shit. Like, 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock at night. And he was going nuts. But stuff like that, at $169, he would have gotten the full-time warranty, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, oh, you got tools? I thought you had tools. You said you had tools. He's like, well, not the small tools. This is one of those pride moments where it's like, don't be a dick. Just pay the bill, because he will fuck that phone up.
Right.
I offered for him to come back. We'll adjust it. I'll charge him what the screen replacement cost is. Here you go. But he's going to be like, oh, it's such an easy job. A 14 Plus isn't hard. It's one connector, two connectors, but he'll fuck his Face ID up, guaranteed. Do I feel bad? No. I don't feel bad for leading him into his own booby trap that he decided to create. He's going to cost himself money because he was in a rush and didn't want to learn, didn't want to hear me. I think that's on him. If not, he can come back and pay me the full cost again, because if that screen is touched, I'm charging him twice.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel to spend, instead of $169, $340, because you just couldn't say, yeah, I got to pay somebody else to do it, an extra $30? That's nuts.
Yeah.
The more I think about it, it's crazy.
Like that's wild. Like people who won't.
I could do my own IV.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's only.
But then you wouldn't have my company.
Yeah, but it's only like an additional $35 to get you. You know what I mean? It's not as expensive as most would think.
Right.
But you could do it, and then just boom, you got that thing they were saying they do, the bleed or the pressurizing that you can cause yourself, the bend.
The bend.
You can bend your shit with air or needles, putting air in your blood.
Yeah, but that's usually like extreme. Like even like when there's been some times where I've forgotten to prime the line of fluid, nothing happens. Like their blood pressure is good enough that it will start backing up, so blood will actually start to move up the line. And I'm like, oh, and then I just hold pressure on where I started their IV, prime the line over a trash can to make sure the blood doesn't get everywhere, and then I just took it back up.
That's a good save. That's a good save right there.
Yeah, it's like it would take like. I have a pressure.
I would have thought you killed somebody.
No.
From my idiocy, that sounds like killing someone.
I could tell by the look in your face. You were like, did they die?
Yeah, because it's fucking... You know how many times I've seen assassination movies where like, it's so simple. It's not arsenic. It's just air. That's... every time. Watch. I know the fucking... It was like a female-led... I want to say Hannah or something. Air... in IV death. Sir, would you like to read that for the guests? For the guests?
An injection of 2 to 3 mils of air into the cerebral circulation can be fatal. Just 0.5 to 1 mils of air in the pulmonary vein can cause a cardiac arrest.
So, priming the air... You could have killed somebody. Google says you are a potential murderer, sir.
But you gotta go back.
A single air bubble in the vein does not stop the heart, as well as it's very small. However, such accidentally introduced bubbles may occasionally reach the arterial system through a patent foramen ovale and can cause a random ischemic damage. Why every time I say something like this that gets my tongue ischemic damage?
Yeah, that's why
it makes me want to say damage wrong, depending on their route of arterial travel.
damage. Scroll back up for a second. Yeah, pulmonary vein, and then in the cerebral circulation. So it has to make its way up there directly.
So like getting somebody in the neck with some air, dead.
Yeah, like right there, like in their jugular.
Or just
in their...
whatever veins in the neck.
But yeah, no, that like in order for that to have made I would have to have had a pressure bag and started squeezing all that air into their body.
It's from what I've seen in movies, that just makes it seem like that's death, but that's crazy. Fully functioning iPhones with somebody else's iCloud. I can remove the iCloud, but you don't need to know that. For $5.
And that's the only thing wrong with them?
Here's how I paid $2.50 for each of these iPhone XRs in this video. So the problem is somebody posted who buys phones in Woodward, Oklahoma on WooTown. And I was like, yeah, I love fam. We buy phones. One fucking comment today. 13 people messaged me. 3 of them have shown up. And then 2 more What do you have for Androids for sale? Is there a page I can go to see what all you have? This location
Sound like they're headed this way.
does not have an online store. I got 3 more that just popped up as one. I didn't know buybacks would be. I wanted to start buybacks January 1st. I was going to start buybacks. Chris, Andrew, Alika, John, Sean, David, Anthony, Timothy, fucking Joey, all these people in the buyback community. Fuck you all. I know. We understand. I'm going to get a bunch of heat for it. I know. I just didn't want to deal with this and then have to have a bunch of cash on hand and like sit there and just go over all the shit and the crazies. But this is worth it because I can get these unlocked and then they're $200 phones. I just 100x'd my money with not wanting to reset their password.
Boom.
The funny thing is, fucking iCloud, the FMI isn't even on.
What's FMI?
Find My iPhone.
Oh.
So the thing that stops you from resetting it isn't even on. So that's the crazy part. That's so funny. It's such an old iOS too. Yeah, so that happened. I'm thirsty as hell because it was like an hour of just running back and forth and back and forth and turning. What have you been up to? Because even my wife called me and was like, "What are you doing? You're running around," because I was driving to the bank.
I've just been watching TikToks.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking to Kyle about anime waifus.
Oh man.
Yeah,
That
so
kid is all he wants to talk about.
there's going to be quite a segment that's recorded on these cameras about Kyle and I talking about anime waifus.
You've made me lose train of thought here because now you've gotten me imagining anime waifus all the time now.
You ever have those people where it's just like, no, you're not worth my time now? And I say that in the most derogatory way possible. I muted this bitch. Because I asked her, I was like, so, she's like, well, do you have any online options to see what you have available in store for sale? Because I really need this Samsung S23 Ultra. I was like, no, I don't have inventory here on sale. I don't want to update that. I don't want to deal with it. This is already fast enough. It's enough work for me. No. Cool. No, don't have the employees for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I can send you to people I know if you don't mind waiting, ordering online. West. Order from the West Coast. East Coast, not so great. Sorry, guys. West Coast.
I think it's that way. Yeah.
You know what our statement was? I was like, so what's your budget for an S23 Ultra? I'd like to stay under $200. You know what that is?
Not enough to buy.
Not fucking enough. That is... You're talking about buying a $700-800 phone. And you want to...
lowball you at $200.
Let me just polish. Like, what? This is like the lady who offered to sleep with me or take me home. No, we will not trade. And then 3 more messages. Where are your other stores located? One that isn't slow, has good storage. S21 preferably. S23 Ultra would be great. I'd like to try and stay under $200.
You should send them a link to your store in California.
Oh, you know how funny that would be? Because we only post the top tier devices that we have for sale, and it starts at the worst case price.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes from $800 down. Like you see $800, then you can low grade yourself. But we found that was easier. I'm just going to stop responding to her because I want to get I'm about to get so angry on some stupid shit. I need my vape. I need it like a pacifier right now because I'm going to scream. I don't even know where it's at.
Hey, you know what would help?
A fucking IV?
Yeah.
I definitely need one. As much shit that my brain's about to explode because of these people.
He gets me.
I just went through an hour of iCloud fuckery. Like,
Sounds like it.
dude, it was 4 phones, right? So the original lady brought in 2 XRs. She wanted 150 each phone. Cool. Yeah, I can do that. That's a decent deal. Unlock them. What? I haven't used them in 5 years. Well, I haven't used them in 5 years. Turns out Apple started supporting gay marriage. You should have heard it on one of these. I should have had the microphone on me. I was like, what the fuck does Apple supporting one thing in one country matter to you? Right?
Oh, that was a for real thing?
That was a real thing. Did you hear that?
No, I literally thought you were just making it.
No, it's an absolute real thing. I was like, what the fuck does it matter to you? And she was like, oh. I was like, okay, I'm going to take a step back because I cursed at this lady who seemed very religious. Then we were talking about kids while I was trying to tear her phone up.
Oh, is that the one who said that her father was a priest? Or
Yeah, and I was like, I don't hit my kids. I love and I threaten the shit out of my children. Their fear, I smell it, but they are obedient to me to a degree. My wife, they tend to run around, jump on. They do it to all moms, kids. But boy, this kid was spitting on his mom, smacking, like a year and a half old, and she was like, "You should beat that kid." I'm like, "You just said you would never hit a kid, or you would never yell at a kid and raise your voice to somebody." But she looked like a fucking firecracker. Like she would scream at you if she had the chance. But so dumb, couldn't remember any of her passwords because she abruptly dropped everything and then abandoned all Apple products when she found out they support homosexuality. I don't believe it. I just think A, they didn't pay their bill, or B, they didn't care.
right.
You know, but it is what it is. I gave them $40 for a broken 11 and a broken 8 Plus, and then $5 for 2 XRs. Oklahoma, there's definitely enough out here. It's crazy.
Do you want to hear about my Karen story?
Oh, hell yeah.
From when I was
Hell
like
yes.
in EMS?
Yes, please tell me about your beautiful Karen story on this lovely episode that has taken almost 2 hours. I'm so sorry.
Nah, it's all good. Ain't nothing but a thing.
Don't let it happen again.
So it was, dude, like first or second year in being an EMS, and that's when I was like working nonstop. Like basically I would more than likely end up working 60 plus hours straight.
Mm-hmm.
And I had gotten off work and it was late at night and I was like, well, I need to go to Walmart and need to grab some stuff before I go home.
Walmart.
And I get there, I have my uniform on, just got off shift, and I'm just grabbing some stuff. I'm heading home and I put on my pullover. So it says Woodard County EMS.
So you look like you're in the EMS like you should be on shift.
Sort of. Like,
and some lady comes up to you while you're on your time.
No, it's even better than that. So I got my tactical pants on, right? I got my boots. I got my pullover that says like Woodard County EMS.
Shout out 511.
So I don't even have like my white shirt on or anything. That actually has like my patch and the county patch and everything. Yeah. And I'm walking around Walmart with my little cart trying to look for the stuff that I need. And I go down one aisle and there's a couple and I'm just like sitting there and I'm like, excuse me. And they're like, excuse you. And they look at me and they're like, just because you think you're in EMS means that you can do all these like yada yada yada. And it was like my husband is a firefighter for out here in one of these small towns. And it was like he deserves just as much as you do. It was like all I wanted to do was get by. That's all I wanted. And she starts just like laying into me about that just because I think I'm an EMS provider, I deserve all these things. And I was like, lady, I just wanted to get by. Like, I just wanted to grab a couple of things. I didn't think I was better than anybody. Still don't think I'm better than everybody. But I was like, Jesus. I look at her husband, and he's just standing there. And I'm like...
I don't know what it is about people who are, like, dressed up or, like... And I think there's a part of, like, people feeling like they are less than when they lose a job. Like, husband probably lost his job, right? I bet he's not a firefighter anymore.
Or a volunteer firefighter.
Or a volunteer. And all of a sudden, you come in dressed up like you are an EMS, and they've just gotten out of a heated argument. Something about him not working, her being a slut on the side of the road. Who knows? Point being, she let you have it. And all you wanted was some popcorn and toothpaste.
Yeah, that's all I wanted.
It's a wonderful hump day.
Just some food and to get by and go home so I could pass out
After
for 12 hours before going back to work.
Shift,
yeah.
Your 24-hour shift.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, this is wild.
I've had one time a person blow up on me randomly like that at In-N-Out Burger. I went to In-N-Out Burger with a girl that was like just a friend type thing, 2011, 2012. Boy, it was normal day, dressed up, buttoned up suit, looked nice. I was working selling cabinet refacing jobs from Home Depot. It was high as shit. always running around Home Depot signing up people for leads. Let me get your name, your number, and when you're available. I got you. Don't worry. It's kitchen cabinet refacing, the best you'll ever have for a cheap quarter of the price bullshit. And all of a sudden, this lady, I'm just sitting there going, I could really eat. I love a chocolate shake. And I'm wide-eyed looking at this menu. And I didn't move, didn't hear anybody, nothing. And she's like, fucking go next. It's people like you that just want to take their time like nobody else matters. I got a job to go to. I don't give a shit what you drive, who you're with, what you're doing. Everything under the sun made me feel like, oh, she thinks I'm a somebody. I'm like, honey, I'm going to get some heroin after this, just so you know. I may look nice, but it ain't nice. And I didn't say it. I wish I would have said something as funny as that, but I was just like, are you talking to me? That's just really interesting. I don't know why you would be talking to me. I'm sitting in line. Sure, I take 2 extra seconds, but it's nothing to do with you. Would you like to skip me? Skip me. I think I let her skip. But boy, it was just like chocolate shake and then get high. But she didn't know that. But I wish I would have told her that.
Right.
You know what I mean? The same way I'm sure it was something like her and her husband got into a fight in Walmart. Nobody gives a shit. But I always like to pretend after that moment that it is the most obscure and crazy shit that led up to that. Like, I
was just so freaking tired. I was like, I want to go home. I don't even want to deal with this anymore. I was like, just like you, I was a nobody. I'm a nobody. I'm just hanging around doing my own thing.
I like being a nobody with small dick. I love it. And we'll see.
I feel that.
It's one of those things.
So, like, that's why I kind of don't enjoy being the face of my company.
I don't like it either. I don't want to be the boss. I say it. They've heard it. Everyone's heard it. I don't like being the boss. I try and distance myself from all of that. We don't have laptop chargers. You'll have to go to Walmart for a universal.
Geez, you're good. It happens.
Dude,
it's called during business hours.
I know, but no, I'm not sorry to you. Fuck you. No, he's sorry. He keeps apologizing.
Oh.
There's nothing to apologize for. You know, he's apologizing for everything, which is weird. We'll end it here. It's a good day. I got to leave at like 4:45 anyway, you know, for this damn Veterans Appreciation Dinner. That's Veterans Day isn't for like 4 days anyway.
Isn't this weekend?
Yeah, something like that. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys for sharing, doing your thing. Yeah, getting fed up with some of the customers in my way, but that's just the way it is.
Be like that sometimes. You'll get that there on the big jobs.
I don't want the big jobs. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Kind of too late.
Dude, I just bought 5 slabs of wood.
Oh, yeah. I meant to ask you how that went.
It is crazy. So I've made one post in Wootown. For some reason, Wootown is popular in the winter. Everyone's focusing on Facebook. It's sitting there. Just morsels they want to jump on.
Because nobody has anything else to do.
I made a post about needing wood. They were like, I got wood. Come check out my slabs at this place at like 9 p.m. in the back of this pickup thing that's in the back of this far gone trailer thing in this storage unit that I don't know what the address is.
Behind the Jiffy Trip?
But the Jiffy Trip. So I went and checked it out. It was the most beautiful fucking wood I've ever seen. Just saying, the most beautiful. Slabs I would pay $7,000 for in Oklahoma City. Probably $800 a piece, 8 slabs, but I bought 5 of them at $200 a piece. $200 a piece. So I spent $500 because he gave me a deal. I was like, well, if I buy it all, I'll get $500. So I got too many giant 12-foot by 4-foot slabs for too little of money. And I don't think he'll show up. I put a deposit. I think he's going to fuck me out of my money, and then it's just going to disappear. There's no way that man delivers Saturday morning. There's no way.
I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out on the next episode of During Business Hours. Hopefully I'm alive. It's been a stressful day trying to just do anything and everything.
And not because of the man, but because of...
it's because of me and how I'm running my businesses. All right, everyone. We appreciate you viewing, subscribing, liking it. Share the video. We'll see you later. Out of here.
Life can be super happy, life can be super sad. I'm trying super hard to separate the good and bad. I go back to my future just to get to my past, but knowing me, my DeLorean will probably crash.